Good evening. That was the KLF and Last Train to Transcentral. And I'm really interested to see if I get hit up with a copyright claim for putting that in the beginning of the video. I've had that when I've just had music playing in the background and only brief parts of music. But the whole idea of copyright is something that's really poignant in my life at the moment. And I've recently revisited the KLF. They were a band from the 90s, well, the 80s and the 90s. And one of the acronyms was the Copyright Liberation Front. But they released tunes under various other guises. You know, they were called the Time Lords and something else. They had a couple of #1 tracks. And they burnt £1 million as well. That was something that they were very famous for, you know. Anyway, yeah. So a big part of what they did was sampling other people's music or clips, and then making tunes out of it. And they did really well, and they made a lot of money, and then they burnt a lot of that money. But they talk a lot about another name for them, as it said in that intro, was the Justified Ancients of Moo, furthermore known as the Jams, and Moo, Lemuria, all that mythology. They were talking about this back in the 80s and 90s, and when I revisited, I want to say revisited because it's an age-old story. When the Illuminati, or the whole idea of the Illuminati, came back into my life, it was through Dan Brown, really, and his novels. It was like brain candy, that stuff, and it was entertaining. And many people kind of draw back to that kind of as being really original or real, and actually the Justified Ancients of Moo, the Jams, or the Justified Ancients of Moo, that's from a Robert Anton Wilson book, or the Robert Anton Wilson books, Illuminatus, what I'm now indulging for the first time, you know, and that's kind of fascinating. They're from the 70s, you know, and that's telling this modern day mythology of the hidden brotherhood, you know. But yeah, the KLF, you know, one of their main tracks was Justified and Ancient, and they actually got Tammy Wynette to sing on that track, and that was an awesome tune, and it kind of it made light of this mythology. They talked about this mythology and revisiting it and seeing what kind of message they were trying to deliver, and how ill received it was at the time. There's a particular interview where they're talking about the burning £1 million incident. They had to go away to Scotland to do it, and they filmed the whole thing, and then they went around schools and stuff showing people this video, this footage of them burning £1 million. And it wasn't like they were uber rich. It was the only £1 million they had, and they got it out of the bank and they went and burnt it. And they said it made them feel sick. And but as a piece of art, it was it's still a brain tickler now. You know, I'm still kind of getting something from that. I hope you do too. But yeah, so I've been listening to the KLF quite a bit, or they popped up back in my reality again, and the Jams, the Justified Ancients of Moo, and not coincidentally, they've been away for 23 years since they've released anything or done anything. They got, I think, 4 #1s, and then they just kind of down tools on the music business when they were at the height of their career. So yeah, fascinating. But anyway, I only saw the other day, I typed in something about the justified ancients of Mu, or the Jams, with me reading the Illuminatus stuff, and that being about, and I'm going to do this while I'm live, I'm going to do a bit of rabbit hole diving with you guys. So, now this is bringing up all this stuff. Yeah, Theresa May was using the JAMS acronym, and rather than have to do any editing or anything, or I have to wait for the advert. When do you not have to wait for an advert?
Theresa May has apparently banned civil servants using the word JAMS, the acronym used to describe the Just About Managing voters she talked about as she entered Downing Street last July.
So, this acronym that came around with our new Prime Minister, well, she's not my Prime Minister, she's the Prime Minister of many people, but yeah, this JAMS acronym just happened to come up, and I found this clip talking about how Theresa May's banned people from using the term the JAMS, and I can't actually find, I will do, you know, I'll have to find some footage of her actually using the term the JAMS. But the synchronicity that came up for me was just, oh, so sublime. It just tickled my soul. Anyway, the KLF are back. The Jams are due to return this autumn. 23 years after they went away from the music industry. And yeah, I didn't even know this until only the other day when I was looking at that. And I don't really spend a great deal of time on social media or the internet anymore. And even if I did, I don't think I would really have come across the KLF, because the way that they actually promote themselves is through not promoting themselves. And their ideas about the music industry. It's going to be really interesting to see what they've got in store for us this time around. It's really interesting to look back over what they've already given to us, and I believe that is really poignant right now. The fact that they're talking about the Jams in Parliament, and the Jams are due to return this autumn, you know, 23 years after they went away. Yeah, and all the stuff about copyright, it's phenomenal. It's great. That's why I said I'd be really interested to see if I get hit up for a copyright strike for that little bit of music at the beginning. I want to see the. Oh yeah, that was another stunt they pulled. What ceremony was it? They wanted to spray the audience in pig's blood, but they got talked out of it, and they settled for firing an M16 into the crowd. Oh, I could share so much more about these guys. I want to indulge much more in just what they've got to offer. You know, they seem pretty legit, man. You know, but there's been so many bands and so many groups that kind of I've been inspired by, and then I've kind of seen the veiled messages that they were trying to deliver. But all your heroes, you know, you end up kind of yeah, never meet your heroes, never get too close to your heroes. But yeah, that's a little bit about kind of a synchronicity going on for me. The Jams are due to return. Take that as what you may. Another thing that's kind of coming up for me at the moment is that talking the truth, or conveying a message, or trying to convey a message, or what I believe to be the truth, is the whole allegory of the cave. When you've been out of the cave, that there's a great kind of animation of Plato's allegory of the cave. And when it talks about kind of if you try to set another one of the slaves free, let them only find you, you know, and they'd be sure to put you to death. That's why you kind of, that's why I'm learning to speak in a more occulted way, I suppose. I guess I'm kind of within the rules by kind of just shining my shaman's headlamp onto something that's in my sphere of influence at the moment, or has been there all along. So anyway, you guys enjoy the KLF, enjoy that rabbit hole, and yeah, get prepared for the return of the gems this autumn.